So, good morning, students. Today's lecture is focused upon transplantation immunology. That means, what is transplantation? What is it all about? What are the immunological consequences that are involved in this mechanism? The main learning objective of this lecture is you will be getting to know what is actually transplantation, what are their different type of grafts, how a particular graft is accepted or it is rejected, what are the mechanisms involved in it, and what are the clinical manifestations related to that. After getting to know everything, you will be able to understand the basic concept and the graft rejection mechanisms, the types of grafts, and the main key players, that means the main immune cells that are involved in mediating the graft rejection. So, starting with the first slide, that is, what is transplantation actually? If you talk about this word, if you see this word, this is made up of two terms, that is transplantation. Trans means transfer of anything, and plantation means whenever we are transferring, after transferring that particular thing, we are implanting that very material at other site. So the complete definition of this transplantation is whenever we are going for transferring, whether it is an organ or a cell or a tissue, from one part or from one individual to another individual. But there are few terms you must understand. The first term is graft. What is graft? Graft are those materials which are to be transplanted. It can be a cell, it can be a tissue, it can be an organ. For example, kidney transplant, liver transplant, lung transplant. So all of these things are covered in the graft. On the other hand, what is a donor? Donor is the individual who will be donating the graft. That means those individuals who will be providing the liver, kidney, or any kind of cells. Now the point is, what are recipient? Recipients are those individuals who will be receiving those grafted things. That means who will be receiving the cell tissues or organs. They are also known as host. These are the few terms which we would be discussing in our coming slides. Now the basics is, the main basic of this transplantation is a tissue from another source is grafted into a particular host cell. The host, that means the recipient, will either recognize this graft as self. If it is being recognized as self tissue, that means there is no cross reactivity. In that case, the graft would be accepted. You can say, if you talk about kidney transplant, because everybody have heard about this kidney transplant thing. In that case, if the cross reactivity is not there and the antigens present on the kidney is matching the recipient cell antigens also, in that case the kidney transplant is successful, because it is recognizing that very graft as self. If that is recognized as self, the host will accept it. Or if it is not recognized as self, then it is if it is not recognized as self, it is being recognized as foreign molecule or non-self. In that case, the host body will develop an immune response against that. So that immune response will basically destroy the graft because it is recognized as foreign. In that case, due to the local vascular tissue, rejection is happening and the graft is rejected. This is the basic concept of this transplantation. Now, talking about the history, that how we get to know that this thing is to be transplanted, how we shifted from skin grafting to kidney transplant, what was the concept, who worked on it, who proposed the mechanisms. In that case, the first person was, however, there was some early history also, but the greater events in the history of, typically in the field of transplantation, was done by Alexis Carrel. He was a scientist from France who was working on a vascular suture and transplantation of blood vessels and organs. Even he got the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1912 also. The main concept was, what he did, he completely he took 9 cats and he transplanted both the kidneys of these 9 cats, out of which some of the cats would be able to survive for 20 to 25 days, but after that every cat died. But this experiment basically laid a hypothesis that if you transplant an organ, or if you took an organ from another organism and you transplant it to a host cell, it can survive and it can give life. So this was the first experiment that was done by Alexis Carrel, and this finding, gave him a Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in the year 1912. After that, because many scientists were working in this area and they all were looking for that how this transplantation is happening. If a particular organ from a one organism is being transferred to another organism and it is able to cope up with the immune responses, then what is the immunological consequences, what are the immunological reactions that are mediating all these things. In that case, there was a scientist named Peter Brian Medawar. He was working on this so as to discover the immunological tolerance phenomena, that how these transplanted organs are able to survive in the host cell, or it can be planted from one tissue to one organism to another organism. So he gave this phenomena, he gave the concept that this graft acceptance or graft rejection, it is basically a immunity driven phenomena. In the 1950, he proposed, he actually carried out many experiments of skin grafting. And that skin grafting skin grafting experiments were basically conducted in the mice, in which the injection of allogenic cells were given, and it was, basically observed whether the whether the skin would be accepted or the necrosis would be happening. From there, he, published the results he got. It was very promising results. So he published those results in the year 1955, and he proposed this thing that this is a immunity driven mechanism. This transplantation, the graft acceptance and rejection, is basically due to the coordinated action of various kind of immune cells. So after, due to this discovery, a new breakthrough was happening in the field of transplantation. So for this very discovery, he also got a Nobel Prize in the year 1960. Some other scientists were also working in this area, that is Joseph E. Murray. He basically was the first person who conducted the successful kidney transplant. That means a successful organ transplant was conducted for the treatment of various kinds of human diseases. Because in case if a person is experiencing some organ failure, in that case the only solution is that you transplant that organ. The organ that is damaged or it is not functioning properly, you need to remove that organ, and then you have to change that or replace that organ with the functional one. So in that case, he conducted this experiment in the year 1954. He was the first doctor who performed this surgery, and he performed this surgery between the identical twins in the Boston, in the in the country named Boston. And the transplants were, and he proposed these things, that transplants are possible in the unrelated people, in the genetically related people, and altogether different people. However, if the drugs are being taken to suppress the body's immune reaction, if you are going to transplant between unrelated people, in that case some rejection chances are there, because they are not related by blood, or they are not they must not be sharing some identities among the antigens. In that case, the body's immune reaction can be very strong. So as to suppress the body's immune reaction, some immunosuppressive therapies were also being given. Because of because of this finding of Joseph E. Murray, he was also awarded a Nobel Prize in the year 1990, because these discoveries were basically paving the pathway for the many kind of treatment of many kind of diseases. After that, however, there was some two scientists, Snell and Dowsett, who also proposed the phenomena that there are some genetically related structures that are present on the cell surface that will regulate the immunological reactions. For example, the main genes that are involved in in mediating the graft acceptance or graft rejection, that was histocompatibility genes. As the name suggests, they are histocompatibility. If the two organisms would be compatible, those genes through which the graft is being accepted, they would be known as histocompatible. In the case of human, this gene is human transplantation antigen. It is categorized. It is HLA, that is human leukocyte antigen. We have discussed this thing in our previous lectures also. These human leukocyte genes are basically involved in the expression of MHC genes, that is major histocompatibility complex. He was both of these scientists also got the Nobel Prize in the year 1980. So that means these are the milestones in the transplantation. However, the major discovery was, the major, you can say, research was started by Alexis Carrel. But the previous history also gives some indication that yes, the transplantation was happening. For example, in the year 1682, a bone from a dog was used to repair the human skull. In 1881, in the earliest ancient history, what was done, skin grafting was the most commonly used procedure, so as to perform many kind of surgeries in 1930. But the main advent of this transplantation, it come after the discovery of this blood group typing. That is, it was proposed by Karl Landsteiner. He was also awarded the Nobel Prize because he gave the concept of avio blood grouping. Because the major reactions that are normally used in the transplantation, that are, if some blood transfusions are happening, because if you transfuse the blood of B group to a person who is A positive, in that case the blood transfusion would be failed. The whole destruction of RBCs would be happening. Hemolytic lysis of RBCs would be happening. So before the advent of this ABO blood grouping concept, everybody was doing false blood transfusion reaction. So this discovery basically, it laid the foundation of many kind of development of many kind of techniques. In the year 1945, as I told you, Madaver gave the immune system role in the graft rejection and acceptance. 1954, first successful kidney transplant was conducted between the identical twins. 1967, first successful heart transplant was done. Then lung transplant was done. In the year 1992, even a xenograft was conducted. That is, a patient was receiving a baboon liver and survived for 2 months, because in that case the survival is very less if you go for xenograft. That means if you are transplanting a organ not from the human, you are transplanting a organ, you are taking a organ from altogether a different species, and then you are transplanting that thing in the human. In that case the survival rate is very less. Then in 1995, an AIDS patient, it received a bone marrow transplant from a chimpanzee. It is again a xenograft. In 2002, the first liver transplant would happening between the identical twins with the help of immunosuppressive therapy. And the list goes on, because after that, the main era of this transplantation was, marked. So after getting to know in the earlier history what was done, the skin grafting was the normal routine procedure for the reconstruction of severe nose. Because at the time of World War, what was happening? Because the soldiers, while battling in the ground, they used to have some injuries on the nose, and after that the syphilis infection was there. So that would look ugly after getting infected with that very disease. In that case, they normally underwent skin grafting, in which what was done, they were taking the skin from the leg or from the any other part of the body, and they were grafting that very skin onto the nose, so that the everything is fine and it shall look good. So this was the normal routine procedure, in which the main person who was behind this was Sushatra. Basically that was the person who performed this first skin grafting method. You must have heard about it, that if a person is experiencing some third degree burns, if the skin is burned, in that case the doctor used to perform a procedure in which they used to take the skin from the thigh region, and they used to transplant, or used to graft that skin onto the burned area. The basic concept was, because you are taking skin from your body, in that case the rejection chances are very less. That thing is known as autograft, in which the chances are less. But this thing was only possible in the case, or you can say this thing was only tried in the case of skin. So the skin grafting was a normal routine procedure at that very times. But there are many methods of transplantation which were basically reported when the many discoveries were happening in this area. you can say the transplantation, it can happen between different parts of the same organism. That means you are taking the skin from the thigh and you are, putting that skin onto the nose. So this thing is known as autografting. As you can see in this picture, I have made one individual and the thing is written autografting. That means you are transplanting, or you are basically going for the transplantation within an individual. In that case, it is known as autograft. On the other hand, if you are using different organism of the same species, suppose you are going for liver transplant, so you are taking liver from another person, say your brother or your sister or your cousin brother. So in that case, you are taking an organ from different organism, but they are humans. In that case, it is known as allograft. As you can see, this is the person, but you have taken, suppose you have taken your organ or tissue from this person. So the human to human transfer has been done. This is known as allografting. In case you are going to transplant, or you are going for the transplantation from altogether different species, suppose you are getting the heart from you can say dog, from pig to humans. In that case, there is species difference, that is known as xenografting. That means after getting to know this concept, we can say the classification of these grafting or transplantation, it is based upon some genetic differences. The genetic differences is basically the main phenomena of naming different type of graft. If you are going for the transplantation from self to self, then it is known as autograft. This is the self to self. You have taken your skin and taken your skin from the any part of your body, and you have transplanted that skin to the another part. So that is autograft. From one individual to another, isograft. Isograft is known as when, if somebody is genetically related, or some, in case of genetically identical twins. In that case, if the two kids are born, if some twins are born, in that case, if some problem happens to be there in one twin, in that case, the another person can donate it, but the chances of rejection is very less, because they are genetically identical, because they are twins. So such kind of transplantation is known as isograft, if you are talking about twins, because both are genetically similar. But if the grafts are performed between two genetically non-identical members of the same species, say in case of from parents to kid, or from sibling to sibling, you can say from brother to sister, or you can say from some relative to a particular person, that thing is known as allograft. As you can see, same species, because we are transferring the organ from human to human, but the species is same, so this is known as allograft. And in case different species is being used, as I have made a pig, so it would be xenograft. So after getting to know this, the main concept is autograft. There are four types of transplant grafts that are happening: auto, iso, allo, and xeno. Auto, self tissue transfer from one part of body to another. It can be skin, it can be blood vessel. Isograft, when the tissue is transferred between genetically identical species individuals, in case of twins. Sometimes we call this isograft as syngenic also. Allograft, when the tissue is transferred between genetically different members of the same species. That means most of the transplants that are happening in the current time, it is allograft only. And the main rejection rate is high in the case of allograft and xenograft. Xenograft is the tissue transferred between different species. If you talk about allograft, this is basically, example is kidney transplant from one person to any another, except 10 identical twins. However, there are many ethical aspects related to it, because currently it is making a big business, because people are going for organ selling. That means if you want to have a kidney transplant, yes, I can provide you, you have to pay me this much amount. So this is a big business now, and due to which very unethical things are also happening, and that everybody is aware of it. Another is isograft or syngenic graft. I have pasted the picture of two identical twins so that the concept is clear. When the transplant is happening between genetically identical monozygotic twins, or between the members of the same inbred strains of any kind of animal. In case of autograft, transplant from one side to the another, the most common example is skin graft. or you can also transplant a particular blood vessel from the leg to the heart. During whenever some person was in the previous time, whenever some person was experiencing some cardiac bypass surgery, some surgery is scheduled, in that case they used to take the blood vessel from the leg area and they used to transplant that very vessel to the heart. So this type of transplant doesn't require any immunosuppressive therapy, because all the antigens, because you are using your body, there would be no immune rejection, there would be no immune response against the self molecules. So this is the skin grafting in case of burns or in case of some destructive injuries. Xenograft transplant across the species. I have pasted a picture also. The best example was when a heart from baboon to human was transferred. There are many other examples in which you can transplant organs from pig to humans. We also call this xenograft as heterograft. So if you talk about, I'll give you one more example. We are talking about all these things that researchers have done this, and the immune response, how it is being accepted or how it is being rejected. If you look at our at the mythology, in that case in Indian mythology, uh, one of the classical example of xenograft is Lord Ganesha. If you people remember, in case of Lord Ganesha, the head was chopped and then the head of an elephant was was implanted there. So can we say it is a xenograft? Yes, it can be. There was another example, Narsimha, in which Narsimha, the avatar of Vishnu, who was having the head of lion. So this concept is being in the practice in the earlier times also. However, the science is making many discoveries in the day-to-day level. Each and every minute, many discoveries are happening and many new concepts are being, reported in this. However, if you are talking about xenograft, how it is possible, but in that case the chances of rejection due to the cross reactivity or some due to the presence of some preformed antibodies, that is very high. Now there can be some other names in the transplantation terminology when you talk about it, because what you can do, you can either go for fresh transplant. Suppose you have a donor, you are taking the kidney or liver, whatever the organ is, and then you are immediately transplanting that very thing to the another person. So this is a fresh transplant. However, you can take out the organ and you can store those organs in the lab, so that it can be then further transplanted. But this thing is basically being used in a very unethical manner, because a organ transplantation network is playing across the world because of this thing. However, the transplants can be living and dead. There can be live grafts. For example, you can perform the live grafts in the case of kidney, heart. These are all vital grafts. In the case of non-living graft, you can perform in the case of bone or artery. There are some static or structural grafts also. However, depending upon the nature of organs and the site on which the graft is being implanted, there can be different types. For example, based upon the nature of organs, there can be kidney transplant, liver transplant, heart transplant, bone marrow transplant, skin transplant. And on the basis of site, there can be of two types, that is orthotropic or heterotropic. Now the orthotropic means whenever you are going for skin graft, and heterotypic means when on abnormal site you are transferring a particular thing, for example thyroid gland in the subcutaneous region. So all of these are basically different type of grafts and different type of you can say examples of it, that how the transplantation can be performed. However, whenever you are going for the transplantation of cells or tissues from one individual to a genetically non-identical individual, it leads to the rejection. Why the rejection is there? Because in the case of autograft, the rejection can't be done. In the case of isograft, the rejection is not happening, because the chances of survival is almost 100%. The main rejection is mainly observed in the case of allograft and xenograft. So why this rejection is happening? Because of the adaptive immune response of our body, because that response is only triggered in response to some kind of infection. Because we have already talked about our two immune responses, innate and adaptive. And innate is by birth, that is a natural, and adaptive is which we acquire during our lifetime, when we got some infection, when some foreign molecule is trying to invade the host. So in that case, when the transplantation is happening or some graft rejection is happening, in that case, the main immune system that is involved is adaptive immune response. So once a transplanted organ is recognized as foreign by our immune system or by the tissue of the organism, our immune cells, you can say, they work in a coordinated fashion to attack that very organ that has been transplanted and so as to destroy that very organ. So if you want to cater this effect, if you don't want that this organ shall be destroyed, in that case some of the patients are being administered with some immunosuppressive therapies. That means they are being given some drugs, so that you can say medicines, so that that very rejection part, that very response that is coming from the host, so as to suppress the acceptance of graft, that can be minimized. Basically this thing has been observed in the case of patients who are suffering from AIDS, in which within 15 to 20 minutes the organ will die, and because that very organ will not be able to withstand the strong immune response that is coming from the host body. As you can see, this is the rejection of a heart transplant. This is the starting point when the heart was transplanted, and as you can see, with the time this heart, this complete thing is darkened and it is rejected by the host cell, that no, I will not accept this transplant into my body. So however, this allograftic transplantation, it has been done in the case of many organs. The cornea has been transferred, skin has been transferred, lung, heart, liver, blood, pancreas, kidney, bone marrow. There are many things. Suppose a patient is suffering from diabetes, and his pancreas has completely stopped working. In that case, what he can do? Can he take pancreas from his own body? There is only one pancreas. In that case, that person has to switch for pancreas transplant. In that very case, the most probable, or you can say the most accepted graft can be if genetically identical twin is donating, or some siblings or relatives are proposing, because they are related by blood. So in that case, the chances of rejection are less. So these are the basic concept of this allograft, different allograft transplantation. But the point is how these grafts are accepted or rejected, or why this is done. So I have shown this. Suppose these are, parental generation, and I have just made a basic cross, that this is the parental generation in which the allele present is AA, and this is father, this is mother, and the kids would be having an allele of A and B. Now this F1 hybrid, that means this very kid, it can accept the graph from both the parents. Why? Because it is having the alleles, or it is having the antigen from both the parents. But this thing can't be reversed, because this kid is having 50% allele from the father, 50% allele from the mother. So it is compatible with both the parents. But if you want to reverse this condition, the graft cannot be accepted. In that case, we have to go for HLA matching. We have to go for tissue typing. So what are the matches, or what are the chances of matching HLA siblings? As you can see this picture, mother and father, A, B, C, D. So the probable alleles, or the probable kids who would be having these alleles, would be this. There can be total 4 combinations of which. That means the transplant can be successful if a mother or father will donate the kid. But in that case, the 50% chances are there that the graft would be accepted. But in case a sibling to sibling transfer is happening, the 25% chances get reduced, because there might be a possibility that the sibling has received a different allele. As you can see, ACAD, there is only one allele in common. So because of this, the transplantation or the grafts are sometimes accepted or rejected in case of allografts. However, there is a condition known as, whenever you transfer transplant from male to female, because the males are having the X and Y chromosome, right? While the male tissue with XY grafted to female who is XX in the chromosomal, in the genotypic configuration, in that case females don't have Y gene. So the grafts are not accepted because of the rejection imposed by this Y gene. And this effect is known as Eckwald-Selmser effect. However, that means the transplant and the immune system, how it is operating. This complete transplant acceptance or rejection is basically dependent upon the adaptive immune response. That means first point is, what are the main key factors of adaptive immune response? First is recognition. Recognition means discrimination between self and non-self. This is the first point, right? So second point is specificity, then is memory. So all of these things, they act in a very sequential manner so as to accept the transplant or reject the transplant. If a body is able to discriminate, that means the main USP of our adaptive immune response is discrimination ability of our body. So this discrimination is not good for transplant, because in case of transplant, it will recognize that thing non-self and it will reject it. So this thing, this only transplant was at the earlier stages, it was happening in the only blood transfusion reaction, as I told you just early in the earlier slides also. However, the grafts were, it was creating a very devastating conditions. So the major concept, after getting to know all these things, the type of graft, the type of transplantation, the various kinds of genetic, relatedness, then the point is, how does our immune system deal with a particular type of transplant? If it is rejected, what is the mechanism? Which of the immune cells are playing the role? And what are the clinical strategies that are available in the market so as to, cater that rejection, so that the transplant is not rejected and it is, accepted. If you want to work more in this area, then what are the new and future strategies that we can work upon so that the immune tolerance is, promoted? What is the role of xenotransplantation? What is graft and host disease? Is it a case that if you transplant a particular organ in a host, and that host, after getting an organ transplant, it is developing some another kind of disease, or some sepsis is happening? So all of these things are basically need to be addressed, that we would be covering. So if you talk about that, whether the transplant would be accepted or rejected, what are the main key players? What are the main key players, or what are the cells, or what are the main reasons for it? Those things are known as transplantation antigens. And in the category of transplantation antigen, the first thing is major histocompatibility complex. However, this major histocompatibility complex, it is a gene complex whose alleles encode different polymeric cell surface glycoproteins that are basically playing role in the antigen processing and presentation. In the earlier lectures also, we have discussed all these things, that MHC, there are two classes of MHC, MHC1, MHC2. MHC2 is present onto the surface of phagocytic cells, antigen presenting cells. However, the class 1 MHC, it is present onto the surface of all nucleated cells. So in that case, all of these things, the basic concept of MHC is that this very glycoprotein is involved in the recognition of a foreign molecule. So if you go for MHC recognition while doing transplant, before doing transplant, so this can be used as an antigen, that why the transplant would be accepted or rejected. That is why MHC matching between the transplant donor and the recipient, if you do this thing before transplant, you can greatly reduce the likelihood of rejection, because you will be getting to know in the early stages whether the transplant can be performed or not. In that case, if you talk about nomenclature, this MHC gene is located onto the gene human leukocyte antigen, that is known as HLA. It is present on the chromosome number 6. In the case of mouse, it is present onto the H2 gene, and it is present onto the chromosome number 17. And they are basically cluster of many genes that work in a sequential manner in a coordinated fashion. So there are two types, as I told you: class 1 antigen, that is constitutively expressing onto the surface of all nucleated cells. Class 2 antigens, it is being expressed onto the cells of lymphoid system, that is antigen presenting cell, macrophages, neutrophils. And the expression of these MHC molecules, they can be upregulated by some severe diseases or in severe conditions also. The nomenclature is like this, in which HLA class 1, the main 6 genes are A, B, C, and class 2 DRDQ. That means these two type of genes are coding. ABC gene is coding for class 1 MHC antigen, DRDQ is encoding for class 2 MHC antigen. We have already discussed this thing also while we were discussing about organization and expression of all these major histocompatibility complex. In case of H2, that is in the case of mouse, the class 1 is being expressed by KDL and class 2 is being expressed by 1A and 1E. So there is another important transplantation antigen, that is blood group antigen. If you talk about blood group antigen, in that case, it is our human blood system is ABO blood group, in which we know that if a person is A positive, it would be having a sugar molecule present onto the surface of RBC. B blood group is having another allele for that, that is also expressing a particular polysaccharide. However, the person who is having O, that is not expressing any kind of antigen. However, if a person is AB blood group type, it would be expressing the alleles of both A and B. So if you are going for any kind of transfusion reaction in that case, or transplantation reaction in that case, first go for blood group typing, because all the antigens that are being expressed onto the surface of RBC, that plays a role. Because if a person is, suppose I am B positive, in that case, in my serum, which kind of antibody would be present? It would be present type A. So in case you are transfusing or you are performing a transplant, you are going for an allograft. In that case, I am B positive, but the person whom which I am, donating my organ, that is A positive. In that case, the transplantation rejection would be happening because of the difference in the antigen of the RBC. So this is also a transplantation antigen that plays a major role. Now, what are the factors that can favor this allograft survival? How can you, infer that this very allograft would be, successful? The first thing is blood group compatibility that I have just told you. The blood group should be same. That means if the blood group is same, the antigens on the surface of RBC would be same. So the chances of rejection would be 0%. Another is HLA compatibility. HLA compatibility means major histocompatibility antigen test shall be done. After that, HLA typing and tissue matching, which we call it as tissue typing. There are many procedures in it in which we go for this, in which we, compare HLA group antigens, class 1, class 2 MHC group, the lymphocytic response, how would it would be coming. So all of these things basically go for the identification of HLA antigens that are being expressed onto the surface of lymphocytes. Because the major key players that are involved in the adaptive immune response, it is T cells. If these T cells already have some cytotoxic effect against a particular kind of transplant, in that case, that tissue won't be accepted in the body. So we go for tissue matching, tissue typing, HLA typing, blood group typing before performing all these things. Histocompatibility antigens, if you talk about, that is immune response against the transplant will depend upon the presence in the grafted tissue of antigens that are absent in the recipient. That is why they are being recognized as foreign. This is the HLA system. This is, shown in the case of, humans. And this is in the case of mouse. As you can see, this is DP, DQ, DM. This is the TAP protein. This is A, B, C gene. These are encoding for class 1. This is encoding for class 2. We have already discussed this thing in our previous lectures also. Now, because the MHC gene is also polymorphic, because the different genes are going for different kind of class antigen. This process of identifying MHC polymorphism before going for any kind of transplant, this is known as tissue typing, in which at previously what was being done, we were used to detect the preformed antibodies from the patient serum. Is there, first of all, we need to find out whether the serum of a patient contains already preformed antibodies against these very MHC molecule or not. If it is present, transplantation can't be done. If it is not present, then there are chances that the transplantation would be successful. So in that case, HLA and MLR was performed. This MLR is mixed lymphocyte reaction. I would be discussing this. Currently, many discoveries are happening and many new techniques are reported. In that case, there are DNA testing mechanism now. There, we can use flow cytometry techniques so as to detect all these things. So this is the tissue typing in which we perform all these kind of test. First is microcytotoxicity assay, in which what we do, we basically go for the identification of any known antibody to the WBC of donor and recipient. And the main phenomena that we use is complement mediated lysis if antibodies are present on the cell surface. So what we do in this case, before going for transplant, we take the lymphocytes, we take the WBC of recipient as well as donor. And what we do, we place all those lymphocytes onto a ELISA titer plate. Then we add antibodies against those, against those MHC molecule along with the complement proteins, so as to detect that the whether the lysis would be happening or not, or whether some cytotoxicity is there or not. We add a dye that is known as trypan blue. If complement mediated, antibody mediated lysis is being performed by the donor antibodies, in that case the trypan blue would be absorbed. More the trypan blue would be absorbed, that means the more the cytotoxic reaction can be performed. That means already preformed antibodies are there, so the transplantation can't be happened. This is the first step that mostly doctors perform. Another is mixed lymphocyte culture, in which what we do, we perform a we take lymphocytes from both the donor and recipient and we mix them, in which the donor who is basically providing the transplant, who is providing the organ, those lymphocytes are irradiated, so that that can act as a stimulant, that can be recognized as foreign. So if there is no reaction from the recipient side, in that case, yes, the transplantation can be successful. Otherwise, what would be happening if you incubate these donor lymphocytes with the recipient one, the person who would be going to receive the organ, it would be having a strong T cell response against that. And that strong T cell response is basically checked by administering thymidine labeled lymphocytes. You can literally check that more the uptake of thymidine, that means more is the response. That means the transplant can't be accepted. After that, there is also a procedure of flow cytometry cross typing, in which we go for the identification of cross matching, that whether some cross reaction would be happening on HLA antigens or not. And by flow cytometry, you get to know the whether these cells are alive or dead. So from there, you can infer. Another is DNA analysis. You can go for genomic typing. This is very precise. That is being currently used in the current era. So today we have discussed about what is transplantation, what are the methods, why it is, how it was developed, what was the history, and different kind of transplantation antigen, main key players. But the main point, how they are basically going for the graft rejection. What is the mechanism? How a particular T cell, B cell, or antibodies are killing those transplant and they are performing the necrosis. We'll be discussing that thing in a coming lecture. These are the few links of NPTEL course and EPG Pathshala. This is a written portion. This would be very helpful for you. This is a book that is Cube, which you can refer for this. These are the few MCQs which have pertaining to this lecture. I have uploaded it on LMS. You can go for it attempting. This all thing is covered in this lecture. Thank you very much for listening.